Hey everyone, welcome to another video. If you love film, gaming, or television content, please hit that subscribe button. With Nope being right around the corner here in Australia, I wanted to talk about director Jordan Peele's filmography. So today, I will be talking about Get Out, his Oscar-winning debut. So, let's get into it. In my opinion, there are a few directorial debuts as impressive as Jordan Peele's. I guess he's already had some experience in a creative role, working as a writer and one of the leads in his hit sketch show Key and Peele, which, if you haven't seen, is really fantastic, and some of the sketches were really creative.
We are Key and Peele!
Get Out is a complete shift from Key and Peele as he established himself as a horror filmmaker right out the jump, and I think Get Out deserves a lot of the success it got. He became the first African American to ever win the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay, and it was well deserved. He also received nominations for Best Directing, as well as having Get Out as a nominee for Best Picture. With this kind of critical acclaim and success, it instantly puts expectations on the film, and I think at times some films draw unfair criticism because of it. Get Out was a film I initially saw around the time Us was releasing in theaters, and I knew about its success, and with all that, I have loved this film immensely, and it instantly shows a point that I'll be making in all of my reviews for a Jordan Peele film. He is one of the few directors who has the freedom to be creative and formulate something thought-provoking while having a mass appeal. Get Out was the film that allowed him to showcase this, as he proved with a smaller budget film that he was able to garner really big box office numbers.
We are so rich.
Jordan Peele seems determined to create intelligent horror characters, and from the opening scene he shows this in Get Out. How many horror films have you seen where someone makes a decision and you are just begging them not to do it because you know there is no way in hell you would go down that creepy hallway or not run away from these clearly menacing people? Lakeith Stanfield's character does exactly what everyone is thinking in the opening sequence of Get Out, and it is a brilliant way of instantly connecting this film with the audience, and it seemed like a deliberate choice from Jordan Peele. Now, I've seen this film about 3 or 4 times, and I feel as if I am able to gain something new from it each time, which to me really showcases a strong screenplay. The way this film conveys its social message about modern racism in America is still very relevant today, and I think does it in a way that can communicate to people who don't really understand what racism looks like today. The characters in this aren't cartoonish racists that would have been prevalent in the 60s and back. They say little subtle comments that make a person of color feel extremely uncomfortable, and Jordan Peele expertly communicates how cringy things like that are. For example, there is a scene where the father character explains that he would have voted for Obama for a 3rd time if he could, and it is clear he's only saying that to get in the good graces of Chris, the protagonist. The auction/party sequence is extremely uncomfortable for Chris, as he is bombarded with comments like this, and he feels so uncomfortable that when he sees another African American at the party, he is relieved that he can talk to someone who won't treat him differently and feel like a welcoming presence for him. Daniel Kaluuya nails these intricacies, showing how uncomfortable he is, and I think a performance like that justifies his Oscar nomination.
What good acting.
The film also just has so many iconic moments that I'll remember forever. The whole sequence about the sunken place is a horror moment that is so unique and will never be replicated that it is just so awe-inspiring to watch. Seeing the hypnotist's mum plant her seed in Chris's mind and make him feel the exact way he did when he didn't do anything to save his dying mum is very unnerving, and Kaluuya once again nails this scene as he is stuck and begins to cry. It just gives me chills each time because it is such an uncomfortable sequence for this character. When he eventually gets sent to the sunken place, it is said to be a representation of how African Americans have been marginalized. No matter how hard they scream, the system will always silence them. That is Jordan Peele's exact words on this scene, and it makes the scene feel all the more powerful because of this meaning. The sequence also looks mesmerizing. The sound, acting, directing, and cinematography create a truly perfect scene that will stick in my mind forever. With all of this horror and messaging, Jordan Peele doesn't forget his comedic roots, as the film has a number of lighthearted moments that just diffuse the tension enough at times. All of these scenes feature Lil Ray Howery, who is just excellent in this role as a TSA agent. Every time he speaks, it's just so hilarious because the jokes are written and performed really well.
I'm TS motherfucking A. We handle shit.
I also think Get Out has a solid cast of villains, which I've already touched on with two of them. The dad and the mum, who are evil and are really the ones carrying on this legacy that this awful family has. I really don't want to get into all of the family stuff because if you haven't seen this film, I want you to discover some of the twists and turns about these characters, as there are moments that are truly chilling, especially in the third act. With all of this being said, I feel as if Jordan Peele made a couple of mistakes that hold this back just an inch from being a masterpiece, which is not a bad spot to be in at all for a new director. I feel as if Peele falls into a couple of the horror cliches that just don't work the best. For example, one of the scenes in the first act, Kaluuya's character and his girlfriend are driving down a two-way road with a forest on each side of the road and a deer jumps in front of the car. The deer is supposed to represent loss and helplessness that Chris feels about his mother, but to me the imagery they use later in the film, like the sunken place sequence I mentioned before, could have sufficed in that messaging. Overall, Get Out is such a simple film on the surface, but there is just so much subtextual storytelling in both the screenplay and the visuals that make this such a layered and fantastic film. Jordan Peele instantly established himself as a filmmaker to watch, and for me, he put himself in the territory of new filmmakers like Ari Aster and Robert Eggers, and what he managed to do that those two couldn't was create a film that could appeal to everyone. People who wanted a simple and entertaining horror film got it, and people looking for something a little more in terms of social messaging and subtextual storytelling got it. If you haven't seen Get Out yet, I highly recommend it, and I'm going to give this one a strong 4.5 out of 5. It does so many things right, and it is a film I'm sure I will watch many times in the future. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. Tell me, what do you think about Get Out in the comments below? I would love to discuss Jordan Peele's filmography further with you. Is there anything that you've seen in this film that you found striking that I didn't mention here? Please let me know. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.